Some of the loudest moments in life come after the biggest victories. You push through. You show up. You give everything you have. And then, when it's finally over, you crash. Today's story is about that moment. The moment when strength runs out. When fear sneaks in. When faith feels tired. This is the story of Elijah, a prophet who saw fire fall from heaven and then ran for his life. And it's also a story about how God meets us, not in noise, but in the quiet. Elijah had just experienced a moment few people ever do. On Mount Carmel, he stood alone against hundreds of prophets of Baal. The odds weren't in his favor. The pressure was intense. He prayed, and fire fell from the sky. Not a spark, not a flicker. Fire that consumed the sacrifice, the stones, even the water around it. It was a public victory, undeniable, powerful. God had shown up in a way that left no room for doubt. You'd think this would be the moment Elijah felt unstoppable, unshakable, certain. But faith doesn't always work that way. Not long after that victory, a message reaches Elijah. Queen Jezebel is furious, and she makes a promise. By this time tomorrow, you'll be dead. That's all it takes. Elijah doesn't argue. He doesn't pray. He runs. He leaves town, leaves safety, leaves everything familiar. He runs into the wilderness until his body can't go any farther. Finally, he collapses under a tree, alone, exhausted, empty. And there, Elijah says something raw, something honest. I've had enough, Lord. Not a speech or a sermon, just a confession. I'm tired. I'm scared. I can't do this anymore. This is the same man who called down fire from heaven, and now he can barely lift his head. Here's where the story takes a turn. God doesn't correct Elijah. He doesn't lecture him. He doesn't say, "Where's your faith?" Instead, God lets him sleep. An angel gently wakes Elijah and says, "Get up and eat. There's bread. There's water." Elijah eats and falls asleep again. And again, the angel wakes him with the same words, "Get up and eat, for the journey is too much for you." Before God deals with Elijah's fear, before he addresses his calling, he takes care of his body. Sometimes the most spiritual thing we need is rest. Elijah gathers strength and begins walking again, 40 days and nights, until he reaches Mount Horeb. A cave becomes his shelter. And in that quiet place, God finally speaks. God asks Elijah a simple question. "What are you doing here, Elijah?" Elijah pours it all out. "I've been faithful. I've done everything you asked. I'm the only one left. And now they want to kill me." It's not entirely accurate, but it's honest. God tells Elijah to step outside. Something is about to happen. First, a powerful wind tears through the mountains, so strong it shatters rocks. But God is not in the wind. Then an earthquake shakes the ground beneath Elijah's feet. But God is not in the earthquake. Then fire appears, dramatic, overwhelming, familiar. But God is not in the fire. And after the fire, silence. Then a gentle whisper, so soft you could miss it if you weren't listening. And when Elijah hears it, he covers his face, because he knows. This is where God is. Not in the noise, not in the spectacle, not in the chaos, but in the quiet. We live in a loud world. Notifications, opinions, deadlines, and expectations. We often assume God will break through that noise with something dramatic, something unmistakable. But this story reminds us, God doesn't always shout. Sometimes he whispers, not because he's far away, but because he's close. Elijah thought he was alone. He wasn't. He thought he was finished. He wasn't. God still had plans for him, still had work for him to do, still had people who would walk alongside him. But before Elijah could move forward, he needed to be still. Maybe today you're tired, not just physically, but deep down tired. The kind that sleep doesn't always fix. Maybe you've been strong for a long time, and now you don't know how much strength you have left. This story is for you. God sees you. God cares for you. And God is not disappointed in your weariness. You don't have to hear him in the noise. You don't have to perform. You don't have to prove anything. Sometimes all he asks is that you slow down. Step outside the cave and listen, because his whisper is enough. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this story resonated with you, feel free to share a word or thought in the comments. And if you'd like more Bible stories told with heart and clarity, consider subscribing. Until next time, may you find God's presence in the quiet places.